Hi, we're Team HackTampa, and this is all aboard our entry in the Bow Impact and Boarding System OpenWERX Challenge for this month. The team's made up of myself, John Adair, and Bill Shaw. We both did a lot of mechanical design, brainstorming, and CAD work on this project to pull it together, and our GitHub repository is there. Out of all the design goals, we really focused on trying to make sure we had something that would really fit in the hatch area and fit through a small hatch opening, but still be light and maneuverable and be able to be installed by a single operator pretty quickly. Our key components are a boarding platform that's made up of two pieces and some tie-down straps to hold everything in place, and then a bumper assembly that goes on the front to absorb the impact of the two vessels. The installation is pretty straightforward. This is what it starts out as: three pieces and tie-down straps sitting inside a compartment. We start with one piece of the boarding platform. We set it on the hull to begin with. It just sits there in place. Then we drop an additional one in. This has a hinge mechanism built in, so it folds down over the front of the hull. And then we're going to use tie-down straps to pull those two aft and secure everything tightly. Then we have a shock absorbing panel that goes in the very front that drops down into place. And that's our installation. And this is what it looks like once it's installed. We've squared off the front of the bow very well. Tie lines are out of the way, good boarding platforms, shock absorbing material in the front. Looking underneath, you can see some of the structure that holds up the shock absorbing material. And we've got this other shock absorber in the very tip of the bow. This is what it looks like packed up to go back in the hatch again. The very front section fits over the tip of the bow. It's got a kind of a conformal pocket to hold everything. We believe this is enough to hold it in place during impact. The winching straps pull the two pieces of decking together and tighten everything up. We think that will hold very well. There's a bumper assembly that fits on the front. It's made of a steel frame with commercial tugboat fenders attached to it. It's got a couple of pins that drop in the boarding platform. And then we also use, anywhere that our system attaches to the boat, we use sorbethane shock absorbing material to absorb even more of the impact energy. This is the same stuff that's in athletic shoes and other shock absorbers. It's a great energy absorbent. Our boarding platform is made up of a couple of panels that are built out of a steel frame with expanded steel decking, good traction, water runs right through, and then you can see there's a little bit of sorbethane panel underneath it wherever it impacts the hull. And then there's a hinge system that attaches them together. We've got a pocket on each panel and an attachment that goes inside there. So when that's clipped together and flattened out, I think it's got a lot of good linear strength. We'll winch it down really tight and then be able to hold in place. A couple future directions are to possibly improve the energy transfer from the impact into the cushioning material. We've got a frame, but it could possibly be better. We may need to use a forward anchor point to really hold it in place. We'd like to evaluate some other materials like aluminum decking to reduce the weight of those panels, make it a little easier to install. Some of the challenges we had were the CAD file we were given for the hull was a little bit difficult to work with in some of the systems. A little confusion about the size of the hatch and the hatch opening to store everything. We designed our stuff to fit through a 21-inch opening, so it can fit in a pretty tight space. We struggled a little bit juggling a couple of different design tools to make everything work. Some tools are better than others at different things, and no tool is great at everything. And then we couldn't get a lot of data on some of the materials we wanted to use, like the lightweight aluminum decking and the sorbethane. And that's our solution.